Hello everyone, welcome to this video. I am Agamjot Kaur, and in this video, I'll be taking you through the process of making a stock prediction model using Altair's RapidMiner software. Now, firstly, let's understand the basics. What all is a part of a data science project? So, there are essentially 7 steps in a data science project lifeline. Number one, problem statement. So, the objective of this step is to state the problem you are trying to solve it clearly. For example, in this particular project, we are trying to predict stock. And to put it even more clearly, we are trying to predict the stock of Amazon using the historical stock values of Apple, Amazon, and Microsoft. Second step, data collection. Now, we can collect data from a number of sources, for example, from a government institution, from Kaggle, or a company database server, or self collected data, which I have also done here. But one has to make sure that the data we have collected is relevant and validated and not too outdated. Next, data cleaning. This is an extremely important step where we remove duplicates or missing values. Basically, we clean the data so as it is ready for further processes. Next, exploratory data analysis. Now, this is the step that could take up the most of your time in your project lifeline. For you have to understand your data, statistical characteristics, create visualizations, and test hypothesis. The next step is feature engineering, where we make or understand attributes of a data set that are useful to the problem we are solving. For example, in a stock prediction, useful attributes could be opening price, closing price, volume, or moving averages, etc. The next step is modeling. So, all ML models are classified as either regressive models or classifier models. In the context of stock prediction, an example could be in regression, the system predicts the closing price of stock of a company. Whereas in classification, the system predicts whether the closing price of stock will increase or decrease the next day. So, this project is a regressive one because we are predicting the closing value of Amazon stock. Next, in the modeling step only, we also have to do data pre-processing, which involves essentially 3 steps. Number one, splitting data into training data and testing data. So we basically split the database into training and testing. We train the model on the training data set, and then we test the model on testing data set so as to get a good accuracy later. Next, we normalize or standardize the values if our algorithm is sensitive to unscaled data. For example, the values are too high, so we need to round them off or standardize or normalize these values so that the algorithm can work clearly and normally on it. Now, split the data into target variable and prediction variables. This is similar to making a label. For example, we have made the label here as Amazon. Next step, communication. Now, this is the step that I am doing right now, that is presenting or explaining the project to you. This could also be done in a formal report or a blog post. So, now before moving forward, let's once go through the features and advantages of Altair RapidMiner. It is a powerful data science platform designed for data preparation, ML, and predictive analysis. Now, some of its major advantages include ease of use. RapidMiner offers a user-friendly interface and drag and drop functionality. And now, trust me when I say this, the drag and drop functionality really does make complex things into easier functions, and it makes it a useful software for people with or without much programming experience. Next, integration. RapidMiner integrates seamlessly with various data sources and systems, allowing for easy data import and export. For example, you can import your data in CSV or Excel format, etc. Next, the extensive library. You name it, and it has the tools and operations that are required for data pre-processing, modeling, and evaluation or exploratory data analysis. The next advantage is collaboration. So, RapidMiner also provides features for team collaboration and sharing of workflows and insights. And this also makes it possible for us to make our project scalable. They could be small scale or large scale projects. Now, we have already done the first step, that is clearly specifying our problem statement. Moving on to the next next step, that is data collection. So I have done this through Google Finance. So you go on Google Sheets, and you use the formula, the inbuilt formula that is provided, Google Finance. And the there are various parameters in this function. So the first parameter is the ticker, the stock ticker that you want the information for. For example, I want it for Apple right now. AAPL is the ticker name. Next, the attributes that I want. Attributes, now you can relate to the feature engineering step that I mentioned. The various attributes here could be open, close, volume, date. But I want to see all the attributes right now, so I'll type in all. Next, we have to provide a start date and an end date for for the data we want, because we are getting the historical data here. So we use the date function here, right? So for example, I want it from 1st January 2024. So I'll write 2024, comma 1, comma 1. And the end date that I want is today. This is also an inbuilt function. And next, at what intervals do I want the data? It could be daily, monthly, or weekly. For example, I wanted to see it at a daily interval. So I'll write down daily, and you close the parenthesis, press enter. And these are all the attributes. So these are some attributes: open, high, low, close, volume. And this is from the start date I mentioned to the end date I mentioned. Now I have already collected the data and I have saved it. So this is also from 1st January 2024 to the current date, and it is for Apple, Amazon, and Microsoft. Now let's move on to the RapidMiner software. So this is the interface. Firstly, the first step that you want to do is to import your data. You import your data from here, and select it from wherever your data is. For example, mine was here in downloads, so I got it here, and you do next, next, and finish the process here, and you can save it in your local repository or your temporary repository. I have saved it in my local repository. Now, this is where the drag and drop function is shown to use. So you get the CSV file and drag it here. It's as easy as dragging it. So I'm deleting it from here because I've already done it here. So I have retrieved it, and then I searched the retrieve function. So here you can search for whatever operations or tools that you want. I wanted the retrieve, so I basically dragged it from here and connected it to here. Also, for the second step from this would be that as soon as you get your data, you connect it to the output here, and then you subsequently add whatever tools or operations you are applying. Once we have retrieved the data, I am going to split the data into uh, into three parts, into two parts. One is my training data, and one is my testing data. So next I have set the role. Setting the role is basically making a label. For example, I have selected the set role component here. Here you can go to edit list, and I have made Amazon as the label. You could also make Apple or Amazon or Microsoft, right? This is applied. And next, you could choose whichever model you prefer. For example, I prefer the linear regression model. So I connected the training data set to the model. And next, you can easily drag and drop the model from here. For example, you search linear regression here, you can see it here, and then you can drag it here, and you connect it to the training data set. Next, I apply the model, and this part is done. Next, as you can see, the other parameter of the split data, that is the testing part of the split data, I have connected it to apply model again, and hence again connected it to the output. Here you can see in results. So this was basically our whole data set right here. And if, for example, here in the split data, you could also choose whatever sampling you require. For example, I have chosen linear sampling here, and edit numeration. I have divided the data set into 70s to 30. That is 70% of it is training data and 30% of it is testing data. And from here, once we run, and once all of this process is done, we run it, and this is the linear regression that we wanted. So now the formula for linear regression, I will show it to you later. Next, another functionality of RapidMiner here that will make your work a lot easier is the auto model. So I have already done it here, but I'll show it to you by restarting it. So for example, I'll reload the data firstly. This is the loaded data. I press on next. You could select either of the three options. You Our model here is to predict the stock values. So I select predict. And for example, I want to predict the data of this column, Amazon. I select this. Next, prepare target. It's already prepared it. Uh, there's also this turn into classification, but I do not want it to be a classification model since I want the closing values of the particular company and not just whether the stock would be increasing or decreasing. Next, selecting inputs. So you could select or deselect here. I have selected both of the inputs that I wanted to. Next, model types. So here, there's also this automatic feature selection that selects your features automatically. Let's enable this, and it selected all of them. And next we run and wait for the results. So while we wait for the results, I shall show you the linear regression formula and see whether we have. Right. Yes, this is the formula for logistic regression. Target is equal to intercept plus coefficient 1 into predictor 1 plus coefficient 2 into predictor 2 and so on. Here our intercept value. Yes. So here our intercept value is given as minus 18.642. So next we add the coefficient, that is minus 0.341 into the apple apple stock that is today plus 0.620, that is coefficient 2, into the Microsoft stock that is today. So once we calculate that, we shall get the predicted value for today. Now let's check the auto model. Still the results are happening. Yes, it's done. So here we can go on the simulator and we can check 177.810, and let's check what is the actual value for today. So Microsoft stock for today is, sorry, Amazon stock is 177.41, and the predicted value we have here is 177.8. So the accuracy is quite good. So yes, that's it for this video. Thank you.